Hey Chandra, it's Justin Kantor.
Hello, Justin.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Well, thanks again for agreeing to do this. I think it would be really cool to get your insights. And
Yeah, thanks for doing it because this is something I really get a chance to do is really talk about my experience. And I did a lot of interviews when I was with the group.
right,
But after, just like you said, my insight on, being a part of that institution.
yeah, because certainly they had a big impact in a lot of ways, and it is interesting, especially since you've gone on to do so many other kinds of things. I thought it'd be cool to see how it kind of impacted what you do now, even. But I guess starting out, like I said in the email I'd sent you, just give me an idea of growing up. Was music a big part of your life? When did it come into your life? What do you remember about your introduction to music, sort of?
Well, my life was just music was just a part of the culture. My
Mm-hmm.
even though they weren't musicians, they were music lovers.
Mm-hmm.
And listen to all kind of music. I listened to my music, as far as what was going on at that particular time, which was the Jackson Five and all
Uh-huh.
those. But at the same time, my mom was, like a connoisseur of music. I would hear people like Dinah Washington, even the early Marvin Gaye and Motown family,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that was like, just part of, growing up, they give you a quarter and you dance and that kind of thing.
Uh-huh. That's cool. Yeah. Are you talking about like the jukeboxes, or are you talking about like if you would go to a school dance or something like that?
Well, just, the family, around the house,
Oh, okay. Oh, they would give you to entertain them
they give
more or
you a quarter,
less.
you dance.
Oh, that's cool. That sounds fun. Well, now, did you grow up in Atlanta or the Atlanta area?
No, I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, okay. So, do you remember, like, was there a lot of live music happening around there when you were growing up?
Well, yeah, my parents, they went out a lot.
Okay.
They were one of those, nightclub people.
Okay.
And so, with that kind of atmosphere, music was like, I wouldn't necessarily go to the clubs with them, but I knew that's what they would be doing, going to
Right.
the clubs. And so we would always have the latest, who was hot, at that particular time. And I'd be sitting home, and I remember American Bandstand. We would always watch all the television music shows.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was one of those kind of babies, like a TV baby.
I can relate to that. For me, it was when I was growing up, I was always watching Video Soul, and that's actually my introduction to S.O.S. band growing up.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Now, were there any of the artists that you think had a particularly strong impact on you, either just on your taste or maybe even as your development of a vocalist?
That's very interesting. That's a very interesting question because it's a few of them.
Hmm.
I know I do have an influence by gospel because
Okay.
of my mother,
Hmm.
and we listen to a lot of Mahalia
Okay.
and Sam Cooke because he used to be in a quartet.
Right.
I spent a lot of time with my grandmother, and that was a heavy influence. She used to sing those hymns to me. And it's
Okay.
very interesting because half the time I didn't understand what she was saying. As I grew up, I was like, oh, that's what she was saying.
Yeah. That's
But that was a
funny.
heavy influence on me. Motown was a big influence on me.
Okay.
Diana Ross and Gladys Knight. And I think Gladys Knight kind of clicked because we had this similar tone. I
Hmm.
was an alto.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
out of all the singers, I just related to her tone.
Right. And she has, to me, a very notable diction in her voice, too.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
It's one of my favorites.
Was there a lot of church going as well when you were growing up? Like singing in the church, was that a part of it at all?
I never, and as a matter of fact, I've never sung in a choir.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
so.
No, I never sung in a choir.
Hmm.
Just always, even after I grew up a bit, I would always do like special music. I would come in and sing a song
Okay.
because early on I was just interested in performing,
Hmm.
and I couldn't obligate myself to a group.
A group,
You know,
yeah. You
you know
wanted
the
to shine
the
on your own.
yeah, I couldn't guarantee I was going to be there every Thursday night.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
No, I never did join a choir. But when I was younger, I had a little group.
Okay.
My friends and a little singing group. And we didn't do too much, but we would sing at like the social clubs and stuff like that.
Oh,
I didn't even really sing the lead. I just always wanted just to be the leader and tell people what to do. And, kind of like, okay, we got to do it like this and we got to do it like that. And I would sing background.
So you were kind of the vocal arranger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there any type of... Okay, so would you say that throughout your childhood, like, that was your main performing experience? Like, so it wasn't really until your adulthood that you started doing it as a professional thing then?
You're right.
Okay.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Okay. Now,
it wasn't until I was about the senior year in high school. So my senior year in high school, I always kind of sung, and I could sing, but I actually thought I was going to be a visual artist.
Oh, really?
And I really thought I was going to go into commercial art. But I met LaTanya Richardson, which is Samuel Jackson's wife.
Okay, right, yeah.
And she kind of got me into the performing things. It was something that she saw. And Sam said, you can sing. He was like, you should focus on your singing a little bit, get, some lessons, because, even if you want to be in theater, you'll get more work doing musicals.
Okay. How did you end up meeting LaTanya Richardson? What was the circumstances behind that?
She was my high school teacher.
Oh, okay.
And that's why like my senior year in high school. And so that's why I didn't even get into, me being an artist, like a performing artist, until like later, like 17.
Okay. And was she, and she was married to him at that time when she was your high school teacher?
At that time, they were living together.
Oh, okay. And that was in Jacksonville still, or was...
That was here. She went to Spelman and he went to Morehouse.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, that's an interesting story behind that. So, once he suggested that to you, obviously you took it to heart. Like, did you just kind of, once he said that, you were like, oh yeah, it clicked, or did it take you a while to kind of get into that frame of mind of changing?
No, it clicked right away.
Okay.
I think it's something that they saw that I didn't even realize. And then when I thought about it being possible, and when you're around people in that environment and you see people actually doing it and making a living doing it, then you know it's possible.
Right.
I didn't realize how possible it was until I met them.
Okay. Was the school you were at, was it like an art school, or was it just, it happened to be a lot of artists around you?
It's a prominent. It's the same high school Martin Luther King Jr. went to.
Okay.
It has the alumni just off the chain.
Yeah. So, what were your first steps then? Once you took Samuel's advice, what did you start doing to try to break into the business, so to speak?
I just fell in love with them.
Okay.
So you meet these people. They became my mentors. And they couldn't get rid of me. It was that kind of thing.
Okay.
I would just hang around. And then Sam said, they actually paid for me to go to a workshop.
Oh, okay.
A theatrical workshop. And after that, it was just history. I just fell in love with performing.
Okay. So you started by doing some different shows in Atlanta theater, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was, I was under them. Like an apprentice kind of thing.
Okay.
And then I got an opportunity, because I was good at remembering lines or whatever, and one of the actresses couldn't make it.
Okay.
So something happened. And LaTanya and Sam were in the show. And then the cast voted for me to do that part.
Oh, okay. What was the show?
I thought it was very interesting because I was very young.
Do you remember what the show was?
It was called Wedding Band.
Okay. And what type of role were you playing in that?
You won't believe this, but I was actually playing Sam's mother.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you had
easy? Because what it was, that was part of my vocal ability. I didn't even understand then. I just had the vocal ability. The fact that my voice sounded so mature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there was a little part in the play where I had to do an acapella. But whoever did it had to sing an acapella part.
Okay.
A little part in there.
Interesting.
And she didn't have a really heavy part, just certain parts of it.
Right.
And I did that part.
Oh, wow.
And that was just incredible.
Yeah.
I had no idea that these people were going to be who they are.
I know, I was going to say, because this was a little while before they became, so huge. Well,
famous.
Yeah.